Art isn't an easy thing to learn. To become skilled artists, much like the masters we admire, we have to go through challenges and self-doubt. It can feel overwhelming at times, like you're standing at the base of Mount Everest, staring up at the towering peak, wondering, how the heck am I ever going to climb this thing? But this journey isn't one where you make a single leap to the top. You need to take it step by step, because consistency is the most important factor when pursuing a skill. Today, I will give you 4 tips to keep you on track and also ensure you are making steady and good progress on this journey. Let's not waste time and start with the first tip. Quickly, I want to ask you 2 questions. Why do you like art? And what do you like most when doing it? Is it sketching, environment drawings, painting, or portraits? This list could go on forever, but the point I want to make is that I want you to find out what really gives you the drive in art. What sparks that inspiration? What makes you go, wow? Personally, I've always been drawn to sketching. There's a certain freedom in it. It doesn't feel forced. But lately I've been experimenting with color and shading, which, to be honest, I hated it and I used to shy away from it because I found it frustrating. This leads to the first tip. Pick something you really enjoy. Focus on what lights you up. When you start from a place of joy, everything else feels easier. And as you explore this passion, you will likely find that your interests will naturally expand. You will want to improve, to challenge yourself, to see what else you can do. Because what is it that keeps us artists doing art? It's passion. Sure, discipline is good. Emotions like anger or love can be good too and fuel your process. But it is the passion for art that drives these emotions onto paper and not into a punching bag instead. Talking about passion, this instantly brings me to my second point, which is about balance. You need to switch between practice and personal work. Don't get me wrong, practice is essential. No one becomes skilled without putting in time and effort. But if all you do is practice, focusing on perfecting your technique or imitating others without injecting your own creativity, you will quickly burn out. Imagine this, your artistic journey is like a ship crossing the ocean, and the crew on that ship is your passion. Without the crew, the ship can't reach its destination. So if you overwork the crew with non-stop work, the ship might sink before it reaches the shore. Your practice, whether it's anatomy studies, gesture drawing, or color theory, is important, but it should never come at the expense of your joy for art. If you don't find the time to put practice to rest and do what you like, what you're passionate about, then one day you will be thinking to yourself, what is all this practice good for? And never really use it anyways. Give your passion, your crew, enough room to thrive, and your skills will improve naturally as you allow yourself to enjoy the journey. One of the most interesting things about art is that it has got no destination though. There's no point where you reach the peak and say, okay, I'm done now. I've mastered absolutely everything. Even the artists we admire the most, people like Sam Does Arts, Ross Draws, Mika Picasso or Mei Yonayama, are still evolving. They may be really accurate to the point you could call it perfection, but to them, their pieces most likely still have flaws. This ties perfectly with the third lesson, which I only recently remembered again, and it's to never stop learning and keep an open mind. No matter how good you get, there will always be areas where it can grow. You will always spot little imperfections in your work. Whenever I learned something new, I always thought, oh well, I know how it works now, I don't need to practice it. But then when I actually tried it out to prove myself right, my ego got diminished really quickly, and only then did I start to practice said thing. So if you have the same mindset, thinking that you got it figured out already, develop the habit of trying to prove yourself right, and you will see how little you can accomplish sometimes. It is humbling to say the least, and basically forces you to have an open mind until you really develop one. Moral of the story, there's always something to improve, and you should never think that you got something figured out. This ties closely into our final tip, but I still wanted to tell it separately here, which is to try out new things. Trying out new things will keep some excitement and change to your life. This doesn't apply just to art, but to everything in life. If your workout gets boring, switch the exercises. If 2D art gets boring, try out 3D. Personally, I always thought 3D sculpting would be really boring, but then I went ahead and sculpted an anatomy model. Guess what? It was really fun and showed me how much anatomy knowledge I had forgotten. So it wasn't just fun, but also showed me a flaw. Anatomy. Something I thought I had figured out already. You should always try out new things, because maybe they are even more fulfilling than the things you're doing now, and even show you some flaws in the process. You see, trying out new things can reignite your passion and also highlight areas for improvement. You might discover new techniques or styles that excite you even more than what you were doing previously. So don't be afraid to step into new territories, take risks, and allow your creativity to grow in unexpected directions. This basically wraps up today's video. If you have been watching until here, thank you. Maybe even leave a comment, cause it's always good to hear something from the receiving end. I hope this helped you out a bit, and let me tell you something, most of the time, the things helping you the most are the simplest ones, not the fancy techniques, so you should try to perfect those. Anyways, thank you for watching, hope you have a nice day.